I'm Una. Welcome to my channel. I do project planning and other related content, and today I have an update for my Pan Those eyeshadows. I don't remember exactly when the last time I updated this was. I should probably check, but today is January 17th. Okay, I had to make a quick phone call, but I'm back now. My last update was at the end of November, beginning of December, so it's been a while. It's been about a month and a half, which I knew might happen because I would have to work out how everything was gonna fall into place, all my new projects and everything. I still haven't solidified my update calendar, so some of these might be a little bit funky the next month. I think in February I'm going to try and nail down what date I'm updating everything, or around what date. I have some things I never upload on Saturdays, so that can be tricky sometimes. But anyway, I have some very exciting progress that I'm going to show you right now, and I'm going to update you on my rules. So, okay. I just went through all of my shades and then realized that I wrote the numbers wrong because I switched out notebooks, so it was very confusing. So I'm going to do it again. First is the shade Nancy. At the first update, it had 8 uses, and here it is now, and it has 14 uses, so I got 6 extra uses. I have decided to up my usage goal for rolling out from 20 up to 25, so I'm gonna need 11 more uses on this. Hopefully I can get those in the next month. Not promising. My progress since before has not been promising, but I did not bring this with me when I was traveling, which was a significant portion of December, and I have kind of not pushed myself to reach for it, which I do want to do. I have some turquoises in my collection. They're not things I'm drawn to, but I think they can be really cool, especially when you're like using it to complement neutrals. I've done it like a couple times, just like putting a little bit on top of my eyeliner. I think that looks interesting. It's kind of like, you know, navy mascara. It's like not really that much, but it's like, oh, there's something going on there. So I would like to play more with this. I'm hoping to get to 25 uses in the next month, but we will see. This is staying in. The rest of the shadows rolled in last month, which was about 6 weeks ago, a little bit more. First is the shade Cosmos from Pretty For Your Face. This is what it looked like when I rolled it in, and here it is now. I have 15 uses on this, which is not bad at all. I didn't bring this with me traveling because it's kind of a flaky mess and I was terrified it would shatter. But yeah, I feel like this is pretty good. When I use it, I just kind of pat around to get some product because it can kind of poof up and go everywhere. There are bits of it in other shadows in this palette. It's a gorgeous topper, and I used it mostly on top of purples, but then the past couple days I used it on top of not a purple, and it was really, really lovely. So I want to try and use it in a wider variety of ways. I'm sure I'll hit the 10 uses in the next month. That's super easy. And then this will be rolling out, hopefully with a bit of a dip, although like I said, it's kind of flaky, kind of puffs up. It's not like I'm trying to get to the center of the pan. I'm really just trying to get some good use on it and smush it down as much as I can so that it doesn't get everywhere. But that's staying in. Next is the shade Ornamental from Cleona. This is what it looked like when I rolled it in. And here it is now with 17 uses, and I have hit pan. I was not sure that I would be able to do this. I knew it was kind of thin because this is broken, and then I repressed it, and I obviously did get all of the product because it's a little bit concave. But yeah, I really, really enjoyed this. It's a gorgeous like yellow toned copper. No, not yellow, not copper, like yellow toned topper kind of shimmer. I'm wearing it on like my inner third today, and I think it looks lovely. I really, really enjoyed this. I really enjoyed the formula. I would love to, not that I need new eyeshadows, I don't, but I would love to hone in on these kind of light shimmers. I've been doing a lot of really light, really sparkly looks this month, and I've been loving them. And yeah, I don't know, I feel like I've had mixed experiences with Cleona, but I loved this. So yeah, I'm super happy to have it with pan, even given the unfortunate circumstances of it being shattered and repressed, but it still works wonderfully even though it's been repressed with alcohol, and highly, highly enjoyed. This is rolling out. Next is the shade Faso from the Magic Mini palette. This is what it looked like last month. It had actually already been in this project and had 20 uses, and here it is now with 14 additional uses and a pan. I hit pan on both of these today, so those are the exact amount of uses. I really enjoyed this. I mostly wore it like layered under other shimmers because I will say the purple blue duochrome can sometimes look weird on your eyes, especially if you have like blue around your eyes, which I do. But I really, really loved this. Like today I'm wearing it all over my lid, and then I have a brown shimmer on the outer portion. and I have ornamental in the middle and I have cosmos in the top. So there's a lot on top of it, but it's really just like an interesting way to work it into a look and then just see what kind of happens. Like, I don't care too much that I'm covering it up because I feel like it brings interesting color ideas into my head, which I enjoy. So yeah, and I'm so happy to have pan on it. So if I used it 20 times the first time and 14 times this time, this means that, I mean, it took over 35 uses for me to hit pan on this, because I used it before it was in this project, at least a couple times. So yeah, that's some good amount of use. It's got a good big dip in the middle. I will say it started kind of shifting around at the end, so there is a decent amount of product in the middle by the pan. It's not like it was super thin all over, but yeah, I'm super, super happy about that pan. Hopefully I'll expand it at some point throughout this year, at least a little bit, and this is rolling out. Next is the like kind of middle light pink purple from my NYX Ultimate Brights. This is what it looked like when I rolled it in, and here it is now. I think you can see a little bit of like disturbance in the middle where I have been using it. I have used it, I think 13 times, which is pretty good, I feel, for a bright colored shadow. It's definitely not like a pale pastel lavender, it's more pink than that, but I have enjoyed it, especially with the other purple shades I've been working on, and I'm excited to use it some more. I think it's a perfect color for January. I'd love to use it with more blues and like cool tones, because I've been really, really loving those, as you can probably tell. Today's pretty cool tone and very light and just kind of ethereal, and I've been loving that look, and yeah, this is staying in. And finally is the shade Soleil from the ABH Jackie Aina palette. I don't support ABH, but I think this is a cool palette, so I got it in 2020, whatever. Yeah, this is what it looked like last month when I rolled it in. I'd used it a couple times, and here it is now. It has 8 uses on it, so not a ton. You can definitely see a little bit of disturbance in the center. I don't know if I'll hit pan on this, probably not. I will say it was kind of challenging for me to use this because of all the cool tones. This felt like a very warm toned kind of peachy shimmer inner corner highlight, and honestly I used Trust Issues a couple times. It was like, felt easier to reach for than Soleil, but because I was also doing some yellow looks. But anyway, it's a pleasure to have this palette out. I used Trust Issues, I used Wallace, I used Lituation. I'm enjoying getting some use out of this palette. I think I even used Supreme once, but yeah, this palette does have a couple pans, but it still feels like it's underused in my collection. Anyway, I'm glad to be working on it, and Soleil is a pretty easy one. I think I'm gonna try and push myself to hit pan, but if I get to like 30 uses and I still haven't hit pan, I'll probably roll it out. But yeah, that's staying in. So now I'm gonna re-roll. I'm rolling out 2 shades, and I'm gonna roll in 2. I thought about going down to 5 shadows, but I really like 6 shadows, and I feel like I'm never actually working on all 6 that intensely, and so I like it. And I am gonna randomize one of those shades from a palette that doesn't have pan in it, which is only a couple of palettes, but that's what I'm gonna do. So let me pull up my spreadsheet and then we can get randomizing. So the only palettes that I don't have pan in are my 3 9-pan ColourPop palettes, which are The Child, She's Got Solstice, and Going Coconuts, and then my newest palette, which is my Natasha Denona palette, which I think I'm gonna omit for January. So basically I'm randomizing 1 out of 27 shades in those palettes. So I'm gonna randomize between 1 through 27. Here's my computer. That is the shade 5. So that's from my She's Got Solstice palette. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is actually the shade from my Give It To Me Straight palette, but I'm counting it basically as part of this palette. In my inventory, it's in this palette. And I already have a dip, which I'm very excited about. This is the shade Straight Up from Give It To Me Straight. So that will be a roll-in. I'm very excited about that. I really like that shade. And I would love to have pan in it eventually. It's gonna take a while, probably over 40 uses. All right, and then the other one I'm just gonna randomize for my entire spreadsheet. So I have 166 eyeshadows without pan, I'm pretty sure. So I'm gonna randomize between 1 and 166. So if something's already in a project, which only like my 1 eyeshadow is, or if it's too similar to a shade in my Pan That palette, then I will re-roll, which I don't think this is. I should probably double check that, but okay. And this is just 1 shade from this range. 108. Okay, 108 is another shade from my NYX Ultimate Bright, so I think that should be fine. That's a bright pink. Let's get into it. I'm pretty sure that means this shade, which I don't know if you can tell, but it's really bright. So we will see if it stands up to the brightness that it implies. Some of these shades are pretty different on the eye than they are in the pan, so I'm interested. This will certainly be a challenge, but kind of fun. So yeah, I mean, I have it, I should use it. All right, so those are my new shades. I'm gonna swatch them all, and then I'll talk through my thoughts for the next month, and then I'll go through my pan percentage at the end, I guess. This is not usually how I do it, but that's how it's gonna happen. I just tried to swatch, what's it called, the Cosmos, and it got flakes literally everywhere, so that's fun. Let's see if I can repurpose any of them onto my eyes. Okay, here is our new set of swatches. A little bit down on my wrist, but definitely a lot more eclectic than last month's, which had a pretty, besides maybe the teal, a bit of a through line. So I have my cool, these three go together pretty well, I feel like. Purple, purpley, cool toned. On camera it basically just looks kind of light champagne-y. Then I have this warm tone shimmer, which is fine. We'll figure it out. And then a hot pink. So yeah, let me know if you have any ideas. I will probably be searching through my saved eyeshadow looks for anything that involves hot pink to try and get some use on this. I'll also probably try layering it quite a bit. But other than that, I'm pretty happy with this. We will see. I think I'll definitely be able to get to my usage goal on these two. Probably not Soleil, but I think I'll make some good progress, hopefully get a good dip going, and then see if I can get 10 to 15 uses on both of these guys, and I'll be pretty happy. So yeah, my ultimate goal for this is definitely to hit pan, because I do want pan in every palette, especially palettes I've had for 2-3 years, but if it's really not happening, I'll roll it out once it's like at 30 uses. So that's gonna be it. Thank you so much for watching. I'm so glad to be back updating this project and in the swing of things again. I didn't really feel like ending it. I know a lot of people end it and then start again, but it's whatever. I thought this would be fun to just go through the whole time. Like usual, these updates will probably bounce around a lot. If I have new pans, if I have new rollouts, if I don't have anything, you know, it'll happen when it happens. So stay tuned for updates. They won't be regularly on a certain day, but I'll definitely make sure they happen at least once a month, at least overall, at least once a month. I think last year I had 12, 13 updates for the whole year. So I evened it out pretty well, but they don't come like every month at the same time. So yeah. Stay tuned. If you haven't seen all the new projects I'm doing this year, check them out. I have lots of intros up and reflections about the past year and stuff. Oh, I forgot to do my pan percentage, so I'll do that now. I did make a couple of decisions towards the end of the year. I repanned a couple shades and that had pan in them, and I had kept their pans counting in my spreadsheet, but I decided for one of them, and it's going to be really easy to hit pan again. But the other two, I don't know, it's going to take some time. I barely used up any of the product when I hit pan the first time, so I decided to count them as not having pan, like I did with my Ultimate Brights palette when I repanned it. So those two shades have lost pan, but I've hit 2 new pans. So comparing from January 1st to now, January 1st, my pan percentage was 24.24% with 56 out of 231 eyeshadows with pan on them. And now I'm at 25.108% with 58 out of 231 eyeshadows with pan on them, which is very satisfied to be back at 25%. A quarter of my eyeshadows have pan on them, and that's huge. I will say though, I did calculate my pan percentage in palettes, and it's kind of abysmal. It's 8%. So that's something I'm going to be paying attention to this year. That's part of why I wanted to do one of these shades from a palette. Because I do have a lot of single eyeshadows, and a lot of my single eyeshadows are older, have more use on them, so I just wanted to be mindful of that. Anyway, in terms of my full collection pan, so anything in my collection that I can hit pan on, blushes, highlighters, brow pomades, anything at all, I have counted here at the beginning of the year on January 1st, I had 67 out of 263 items with pan, so that was 25.475%, so pretty close to my eyeshadow pan percentage. Since then, I decluttered 3 pans actually of highlighter, and I hit pan on 2 eyeshadows obviously, so now I have 69 out of 260 products. So I have 26.538%, so a little bit higher than my eyeshadow pan percentage, which is kind of interesting. I thought it would probably be lower, but I hit a lot of pans on highlighters this past year and some powders, and yeah, feeling good about that. So those are my numbers. I just think it's interesting to keep track. I have also at some points kept track of my pan percentage over time, that kind of thing. So if you're interested in that, let me know and I can figure out a way to share it. Maybe I'll just update on Instagram. I have some graphs and stuff. But yeah, that's everything. Thank you so much for watching. I've been filming for a long time, but I think long chunks of it are me looking at my computer, so I shouldn't actually be that stressed about this being a long video. Thank you so much for watching. Again, if you have ideas for this color story, let me know. Send them to me on Instagram. I'm Una Pans. All that kind of good stuff. And I'll see you in the next one.